One round down in the Hi-Tec Oils Speedweek Eseries, and the battle lines have already been drawn after two highly charged races at Spa.
Oh, almost just saves it as well. Back into no rain.
Wheel to wheel into the chicane. Stankowski trying to make a move, couldn't quite get it done. How good is this? Look at the Fanatec car going up the inside. Shannon's there as well. Simon Bishop making some moves. Burton holds on. Good racing room. Great racecraft between these two. Kenny CONOMOS is the driver they're all chasing after his strong showing in round one. But the events of Spa are now yesterday's news. The attention now turns to round two and Australia's holy grail, Mount Panorama Bathurst, a place where high drama and wheel-to-wheel action go hand in hand. Who's got what it takes to conquer Australia's famous strip of tarmac? We're about to find out.
Welcome back to round two of the Hi-Tec Oils Speedweek Eseries, powered by Gran Turismo Sport and PlayStation 4. Well, the battle for the championship continues this week at Mount Panorama. With Kenny CONOMOS leading the championship, we will see if he can come out on top of the mountain. Let's meet our drivers.
The opening round of the championship at Spa was outstanding. Kenny CONOMOS on pole, but Dean Allen in the green and black car beat him into turn one, and in race one they would stage an epic battle for the race lead. CONOMOS with the toe getting by down the Kemmel Straight. But the racing was thick and fast all the way through the field. Paul Candinolian in the KO sports car in the thick of the action, with Guy Barbera in the Porsche Centre Willoughby outfit. They had a terrific battle, and that straight, the Kemmel Straight, played all the difference with the slipstream. Big pass up the inside, the Shannon's Insurance car making a move. That was Simon Bishop, the New Zealander, while the Hyperdrive car and our race leader went wheel to wheel once again. CONOMOS under pressure, but never gave up in the battle for the race lead. Barbara continued to work his way forward, and after CONOMOS pulled away, he challenged Dean Allen for second, but the opening race of the E-Series went the way of Kenny CONOMOS. Race two, reversed grid, so fast guys at the back of the field, and it was the Hi-Tec Batteries car of Connor Healy who led the field down into La Source, the turn one hairpin. Busy though, as always, the Thrustmaster car was on the outside going wheel to wheel. Once again, Paul Candinolian in the mix. That KO sports car was very, very fast throughout race two, and the advantage of the reverse grid meant he started a little bit further up the field. The two Hi-Tec cars battled wheel to wheel. KEEDEN McDonald passed the Hi-Tec Batteries car and the Hi-Tec Oils car to grab the race lead. Meanwhile, our race one protagonists, Dean Allen and Kenny CONOMOS, had a slight coming together, a little bit of fisticuffs down at the bus stop chicane. The Firesafe car making some moves. Jake Burton, the pro sim racer, with move on the Kemmel Straight. And then again, wheel to wheel into the bus stop chicane. Again, the fight for second as they got to the line was awesome. But KEEDEN McDonald won the reverse grid race, round one at Spa. So after round one, 2 points at the top thanks to bonus points for Kenny CONOMOS. McDonald and Burton tied for second and third. Dean Allen in fourth after a strong run. Guy Barbera in fifth. Bishop and Stankowski rounding out the top seven. Candinolian in the mix, as to Adrian Casati with AIDAN Matthews rounding out the top 10. Gee, it's competitive. The best thing is there's still 3 rounds to go. Well, one driver that we'll really be looking out for in round two will be Guy Barbera, who drove really well in the opening round at Spa to be 5th overall. Charlie has the Porsche Willoughby driver with him in the studio right now.
So we're speaking with Guy Barbera, who's currently 5th in the championship, and you came 3rd in round one. How was it for you?
Yeah, so for round one, that was a pretty strong performance for me. I didn't actually expect to get on the podium, at least in the first race. There's plenty of people here who are super quick. Some, I'll probably admit, a bit quicker than me. I'm just super happy to get the podium for the first race, get a great deal of points, and hopefully carry that on throughout the season.
And how does it feel to be 5th in the championship right now?
It's a bit lower than what I thought. I thought I was about 4th or 3rd, just doing the point calculations. A bit lower than where I want to be, but it's probably a bit tight at the front. So 3 or 4 points could do it. And there's not really much in it, to be honest.
And now we head to Mount Panorama, which is quite an unforgiving track. Is it one of your favourites? How are you feeling about that one?
It's probably my least favourite. I did a bit of practicing yesterday. I was at least half a second off the pace from the top boys, Simon and KEEDEN and all that stuff. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it, but not so much because it's probably my least strongest. Just hoping to get at least a top 5, get a great deal of points, and hopefully carry that on throughout the season as well.
Oh, thanks, Guy. All the best for the race.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Straight into qualifying here for round number 2 of what is going to be a tremendous round, of course. Mount Panorama here for the Hi-Tec Oil Speedweek E-Series, powered by Gran Turismo Sport and PS4. Richard Crowe, what's going to be interesting here is to see if the drivers will try and dip underneath that 2-minute bracket. And there we go, straight off the board.
So Dean Allen, who was very strong in qualifying at Spa in round 1, qualifies 3rd with a 59. It's a fast lap time. Here's the Hi-Tec Oils car. This was such an intense session as we saw at Spa. This field is so tightly matched, and a 59.83 was good enough for the outside of the front row. But Kenny CONOMOS, what a performance. Remember, bonus point at round 1 for pole position and the fastest laps as well. He did the job again. Now pole sitter for round 2 of the E-Series is chatting to Charlie.
Kenny, congratulations.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise to me, actually. All week I've been trying to get under that 2-minute mark and haven't been able to. So to do 2 laps under that in quali when it mattered, I don't know how I did it, but glad I pulled it off.
Yeah, you're right. We all thought KEEDEN had it right until the end. What was going through your head? Were you just sort of praying that the time was going to be there?
Yeah, like I honestly thought it was going to get beaten. And then, yeah, I saw him post that time and I just had to send it, and I did, and it all paid off. So, yeah, that was good.
Well, congratulations and good luck with the race.
Thank you.
He just had to send it, and send it he did to position number 1 on 159.7 in the end, starting the opening race. Mount Panorama from position number 1, Keegan McDonald alongside him on the front row. Not a bad job from Simon Bishop in 4th there as well. Jake Burton will start this one from position number 7. Guy Barbera, who was very strong in round number 1, he'll start from position number 10, probably a little bit further back than we would expect him to be. Liam Tame in the Care A2 Plus car will come from the back as well. Good to see the drivers gearing up, getting ready in the studio for this opening race. Matt, it's going to be fantastic to see what these drivers can do, particularly Richard off this start line at turn number 1.
Good luck all. Heavy damage still, remember, please.
Some team chatter there. Good luck all. Watch out, the damage is on. And that is a factor, as always, at Mount Panorama. We're underway in round 2. That iconic run to Hell Corner. It's a good start for the pole sitter. Tips it into turn 1 nicely. Allen gets down the inside, the green and black car. They'll bang doors going up Mountain Straight. We know this run so well. Opening lap's critical on the mountain. Matthew Allen in the Hi-Tec car is a little bit further back in the field than he'd like to be. Still wheel to Griffin's Bend. The leaders, as they were on the opening lap at Spa, at Mount Panorama. 1 and 2. CONOMOS leads Allen. McDonald up to 3rd place. Bishop, the Kiwi, up to 4th. And Candonolian up to 5th place. Good start for him in the KO car.
Yeah, very good start indeed as they work their way out of the cutting up through the top section of the track on this opening lap of 9. So it'll be interesting what drivers do in terms of strategy here at Mount Panorama, because the other thing as well in terms of tyre wear, this is the hardest place on the tyre wear because it's times 10. So when we were at Spa for round number 1, it was actually times 9. So times 10, a little bit more tyre wear that has been brought into these cars for this particular round. So again, that's going to throw in a little bit of a variation into what the teams might do in terms of strategy. Jake Burton at the moment, a little bit further back. Let's listen into his radio here at the moment.
Yeah, I need it to make the end of the 4th lap here.
So Brian, he's talking about going to lap 4, and as you touched on, the strategic variation opens up. 9-lap race instead of 8 we saw at Spa, so it's not quite as simple as dividing it into pitting halfway through. You've got a little bit of a window to play with, but of course the earlier you stop, there's more deg later in the motor race. Casati goes down the inside at the kink, and after a wobble, gets it pulled up and stopped. That's P5.
Oh, does he though? He's a little bit wide, and they're going to go side by side through the exit of the chase here as well, down into Murray's corner. So good battle here at the moment. Gossardi's going to lose that spot, and a little bit of a touch there as well. Will he get back down the inside? No, he doesn't. So fair play here as they work their way back down the main straight again as well. So it's all elbows out in these early stages. Track position vital at the moment in these first few laps.
Oh, and that great shot coming out of Hell Corner of this field, locked together the 911 GT3 RSRs, the FIA World Endurance Championship racer. This isn't the GT3 version that you might see at the Bathurst 12 hour. This is the World Championship version. It's like a GT3 car turned up to 11. More horsepower, much more aero, a bigger tyre, and a whole lot more lap time potential. And we've seen them in the 59s in qualifying. And anyone who goes sub 2 minutes at Mount Panorama, and there haven't been many people to do that, you know you're going along well. We jump on board with Dean Allen, up through Reed Park, past Frog Hollow, and down to the middle grade.
Keeden McDonald isn't too far away. Oh, how was the moment then for Allen?
Did he hit the wall?
I think he might have just gotten away with it. It was seriously tight, wasn't it, as they worked their way back down now through the S's. So the top four here, CONOMOS, Allen, McDonald, Bishop, all nose to tail right now. And I reckon they might be doing a little bit of fuel saving down Conrod Straight as well, sticking in that draft as well, trying to make that stop maybe a little bit shorter once they ultimately get to it. Maybe work for either the undercut or the overcut possibly as well. We're going to have to watch out for that one too. So great shot of the drivers. They're staying really focused at the moment there in the studio as well. Back on board here with Keeden McDonald in the Hi-Tec Oils Porsches. They work their way down Conrod Straight. Here we go, change for the lead here. Dean Allen looking towards the inside of the kick-on drivers. Right, they're going to go side by side through the fastest point in Australian motorsport. And in fact, CONOMOS is going to lose out here, or is he? There's contact between our leaders. Allen holds on. CONOMOS back to second. Third now for McDonald. Bishop still sitting back there in fourth as well.
This is a really impressive drive from Bishop on the back of this queue in the Shannon's car, Brian. I like how he's managing this race, just following in, sticking the nose out where he can, and ready to capitalise. And so too Keeden McDonald going along nicely. But it's Dean Allen, the 36-year-old from Sydney, who leads the way. Now get this, it's appropriate. His username in PlayStation 4 Gran Turismo Sport Competition, Brocky05. If there's anyone that should be leading at Mount Panorama, it's someone with a nickname of Brocky, and we've heard that in the radio comms over the series so far. So Dean Allen leads lap 3 of 9 here at Mount Panorama, but Brock is in front. We don't say that enough at Mount Panorama.
No, we don't. Brilliantly called there as we have a look at Kenny CONOMOS here on the right-hand side of your screen, sitting back there in second at the moment, working his way through the cutting with that hands going everywhere as he fights the car as it becomes a little bit light through the exit of the cutting as well. Now across the top of Mount Panorama. So they're just sitting there at the moment. There's no need or urgency to really go for it right now. It's like a big game of chess, isn't it? They're just sitting there waiting for the right time to make their move, and that's when it will come a little bit later on in this race. Adrian Gossardi now on board with him as he works his way back down the hill once again. In front of him at the moment, you've got Candonolian in the KO Sport Porsche at the moment, back through the dipper. And these cars, Richard, I reckon, a little bit of possibly just jutting out there through the dipper as well, and some even finding the concrete barrier.
Yeah, pushing the limits, and as we touched on at the start, damage is on, so a hefty scrape of the wall could cause you some dramas with alignment in your car. And speaking of alignment, someone way out of a line backup shot there coming out of the elbow, the very top of Conrod Straight, past a bit of real estate that's been for sale recently as the leaders go back onto it. CONOMOS looking around the outside of the chase. Does he get it stopped? He does, but he doesn't complete the move, and the result is that Keeden McDonald is going to find himself in exactly the right position to get that position. And the Kiwi Simon Bishop, the Shannon's car, is going to look down the inside of our round 1 winner and move himself into the top 3 for the first time in the Hi-Tec Oil Speedweek Eseries. Nice move. And the man from Dunedin in New Zealand is doing a really nice job in the Shannon's car. He's P3. Dean Allen continues to hold on, but now he's got a near challenger in Keeden McDonald locked under that big Porsche rear wing.
Yeah, I like that drive of his so far. Simon Bishop just sitting there waiting for those boys in front just to sort themselves out. Maybe a bit of contact. Speaking of sorting themselves out, into Griffin's Bend, McDonald went for the big look towards the inside. Couldn't quite pull it off. Allen is holding his ground right now. I tell you what though, we spoke of a battle of 4. we're almost probably going to have even more than that right now, because just behind CONOMOS, you've got Tandonolian there and also Gossardi that are starting to join in this fight as well.
Yeah, and Aidan Matthews isn't far off the back of that train, so it's going to make these pit stop battles even more intense when the strategy starts to play itself out, and we're on lap 4, so we're not far off the halfway mark. Oh, that vista, that view of Skyline, Brock's Skyline. It doesn't matter where you see it, does it? Photo, PlayStation 4, Gran Turismo Sport, real world, it's still one of the best views in the world anywhere you go. Look at the intensity. This is as competitive a motor race as you'll see at Mount Panorama. And these three just fighting for track position at the moment. And now the battle for the lead. So Allen will be defending, trying to break the toe and park his car on the inside run as they get to the kink. So he's got the better turn-in point, but there's a car already past him. The Hi-Tec car goes to the race lead before they get to the fastest corner in Australian motorsport. And Simon Bishop has the best view of all of this and could capitalise on two of them. Big slide from Allen on the exit of the left-hander at the top of the hill there. And are they diving to pit lane? Yes, they are. They're diving to pit lane. Whoa, they're squabbling for the race lead.
Quite incredible, isn't it? Now, this is a really tight entry. Oh, how was the moment there as well for Allen? Nearly spun the car. Larry Perkins-esque into the barrier there almost on the left-hand side of the road as well. Pit stops being done now. Fresh set of the soft tyres going on. Remember, they've got an option for the tyres. They can either go hard, medium or soft, but from what I've been told, a lot of the drivers going with that soft tyre approach and just splitting the strategy half and half at the moment. So good opportunity for those drivers out in front to take the pit stops. Just looking further on through the field, Jake Burton trying to move up through as well in position number 8. I reckon he got caught up in some of those opening lap squabbles as well towards the rear of the field because he was lingering a little bit further down than what he would like. Allen now, this battle continues again with McDonald even after the pit stop. He's stuck on the outside here at Griffin's Bend. That's not where you want to be because Bishop is going to find himself now on the outside, which is not where he wants to be, going into the cutting. So goodness me, it's all elbows out already, and now is the point of the race where you've really got to start making your way towards the front. It's almost like the peloton of the Tour de France.
I thought we were about to see Marcus Ambrose and Greg Murphy up there at the kink on the run into the cutting. That was wild stuff, but they sorted themselves out before the point you need to turn in and commit, which was good because if there's ever a single file bit of racetrack in the world, that is certainly it. Down the hill they go. So Stankowski out of sequence with this group, which is your net leaders. When everyone finishes their pit stop, this will be the crew that ultimately leads the race. Stankowski going from an overcut, and now he's got clear track position in front. So he'll try and get a bit of margin on the guys he's racing a little bit further down the field after he completes his stop. He's going to get gobbled up though. Keeden McDonald will go past the straight line down Conrod Straight. So undercut or overcut, it doesn't matter. He's back to second place, and crucially McDonald now with a little margin over Dean Allen, who we're riding on board with now. The hyperdrive car has a bit of work to do, so this battle just changes tack just again. The fight is on for the lead in race 1 at Mount Panorama. It's the Hi-Tec Oils Speedweek Eseries, powered by GT Sport and PS4. Back after this.
We're locked in a fierce battle for round 2, race 1 at Mount Panorama for the Hi-Tec Oils Speedweek E-Series powered by Gran Turismo Sport and PS4. So Keeden McDonald leads the way so far, but he's got a very angry Dean Allen sitting in behind him. Behind him as well, Simon Bishop looking for that second spot here on the way to Griffin's Bend down the inside in the Shannon's Insurance Porsches. He takes that spot away and now fires up through the section of the racetrack that we know as Griffin's Bend into the cutting. Second spot now for Simon Bishop.
He's been watching Katsumasa Chio. He did that in a 12-hour on his way to victory in 2015, passing the grass on Mountain Straight. Nice move. And the Kiwi is absolutely flying. So similar strategy to the cars around him, but he's got great car speed at the moment. Frog Hollow, Reed Park, and then the Metal Grate and towards McPhillamy. Epic bit of road, diving into the sunshine as well. There's the KO Sports car, looking good as they plunge off the top through Brock Skyline. There's the dipper, and then down towards the S's. and that critical corner at the elbow, which is the most important corner on Mount Panorama, because if you don't get the exit right here, by the time you get to the hump on Conrod Straight, you're going to be in a world of pain. There they go, lap 6 of 9. This one's starting to play itself out.
Candidolian then, you mentioned getting that drive off Forest Elbow. He was all over the place there, and this is the opportunity now for Adrian Gossardi in the PlayStation machine here. Through the kick, side by side. Fastest point again of Australian motorsport, and he gets sideways as well. Is he going to have enough room there on the outside to try and get this job done? No, he's not. Candidolian holds on to the spot at the moment, but I tell you what, there is no love loss for sure in this battle for position number 5 right now. You've got to feel that Gossardi has got the pace, but he's got to try and find a way around this racetrack to get the job done here.
Yeah, and Bishop's looking a little bit ragged further up the field, and so too Candolonian, just dropping wheels off on the exit of corners like he did there on the exit of turn 1 at Hell Corner. And those little percentages of car speed will drop you a few k's an hour, the run up the hill, and might open you up to attack. So that was a really good battle. Here's Dean Allen chasing Bishop. We're just talking about flames from the exhaust of the RSR 911 as they barrel through Griffin's Bend and up towards the cutting. So yeah, patience, I think, very much a virtue in these races. It's KEEDEN McDonald with a really handy margin now with 2 and a bit laps to go. Dean Allen at the moment looks like he's got great car speed. So let's see if Barocchi, as he races under the username of, can work his way by and then catch the leader. But 36-year-old's got a job to do. The race leader's got a nice margin.
Certainly does, and of course he would be the first person here to try and win back-to-back races so far in the series as well. Of course, Kenny CONOMOS getting the first race at round number 1 in Spa. So McDonald from Bishop, Allen, CONOMOS, Candolian so far the top 5. We're watching the battle here between Bishop and Allen. Bishop working that car through the left-hander at Forest Elbow. Allen then maybe a little bit wide on entry. We'll see if that affects him. Straight line speed-wise, heading down Conrod Straight now this time by. So McDonald has got a fair old margin. He's pulling away. Bishop trying to bring the train with him. He's maybe a little bit closer on this previous lap, but in the meantime, Allen is just falling back as well. He's got to be careful because CONOMOS, your series leader, is not too far away.
Yeah, so he might be the one to watch as this race evolves over the final couple of laps, as he looks to buy his way back into the podium. It was interesting that he led the series by 2 points coming into this weekend after round 1. Both of those points came from getting the fastest lap. So important as well. Remember, bonus points on offer throughout the weekend. 1 for pole and 1 for fastest lap in each race. So you need to nail those quick laps. And I tell you what, right now, CONOMOS is in the ideal position to do that. Clean racetrack in front, no one to battle with. Go out, punch out fastest lap times, and hey, if you can't get on the podium, you might still get that bonus point for fastest lap, which is all too critical in a championship that just has this vibe of being incredibly competitive all the way through to the season finale.
It's great stuff, isn't it? So 2 more laps to go now for our leaders out in front. All about keeping it clean and consistent at the moment. We're looking at Aidan Matthews here and Matthew Allen. The battle's positions 9 and 10 at the moment, working their way back into Griffin's Bend. Guy Barbera not too far in arrears as well. Guy hasn't had the best run so far compared to what he did in round number 1, so he's trying to make up some valuable spots and of course points as well for his championship challenge. So back on board here with Matthew Allen in the Hi-Tec Porsche, coming out of the cutting now and working his way back across the top Mount Panorama, and you can see these cars really moving about. Likewise for Dean Allen moving about. They're going through McPhilby Park, across Skyline, and now down into the Dipper as well. He's still got that bit of a margin between himself and Bishop in front. And really, McDonald, you can't even see him. You can see him now as he flashes through the screen into Forest Elbow, but he has got it comfortably right now with a lap and a quarter to go.
But crucially, Brian, CONOMOS, look, he's not far from the toe here in 4th place, catching Dean Allen, who he's been battling with since the opening round of the championship at Spa, since the opening race. They were wheel to wheel in the opening laps there. They ran nose to tail in the reverse grid race in round 1, and here they are locked together again. Just this time they're 3rd and 4th, and it's CONOMOS who's in behind. Just finish the point on Matthew Allen, who were following before. He's in the top split in the FIA GT Oceania Championship, so this has been a strangely quiet day for him so far, but he might be one of those drivers looking forward to race 2, because remember, reverse grid, so if you don't have a good race 1, you finish down the field, at least you're further up the front when you get around to race number 2. You've got a chance to redeem yourself and grab a good race result. So that'll be something he needs to keep in mind as this game plays out over the remaining 6.213 kilometres. Can CONOMOS get to the back of Allen? Can Allen catch Bishop? And can McDonald hold on out in front? It's going to be fun finding out.
All these question marks with a lap to go. We're about to find out here as they work their way through Griffin's Bend for the final time. Of course, reverse grid race up next. Dare I say it, will there be chaos and carnage? We'll have to wait and see.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, Richard. Easy enough for you to say. As Bishop in the Shannon's Insurance Porsche now is just continuing to manage that margin here in position number 2. Tyres as well. Oh, our leader then had a bit of a moment. Just grazed the wall on driver's left. Hopefully that doesn't cost him too much damage and therefore time as well. Drivers using every bit of the road and then some at the moment as they go back through the top of McPhillamy Park. Look at Allen in front. Again drops the right-hand side of that car off the road. Scott McLaughlin-esque from the top 10 shootout a few years ago as our leader. I tell you what, Richard, it's getting tighter. It's getting real tight now. Bishop is closing in here with half a lap to go. Down into Forest Elbow. McDonald was tight on entry. That's going to affect his exit here. Bishop might just be in the tow.
There might be just enough of an extra slipstream to drag him in as they get to the chase. Won't be enough to overtake yet, but maybe when they get to Murray's Corner. Could he be close enough? Or can the 22-year-old from Maitland in New South Wales hold on through the kink? Just a couple of crucial corners to go. Pressure does funny things when you're in the lead of a motor race. But this young man has done a superb job holding out the Flying Kiwi, who'll net his best race result in the Hi-Tec Oils Speedweek Eseries so far. But at Mount Panorama, McDonald conquers the mountain. Terrific drive under real pressure the whole way through. That is an outstanding performance for the Hi-Tec Oils driver.
Oh, it was a great drive, wasn't it? McDonald getting the win. Kenny CONOMOS, position number 4. So interesting what that will do for his championship points as well as we look at the final few drivers crossing the line there towards the rear of the field as well. So a tremendous drive for our race winner. Of course, McDonald backing up that win that he got at round number 1 in Spa as well. Let's listen in on some of the chatter.
Another one.
Oh, man, I feel like I got to cross the line. Yeah.
Still one by second. Calm down.
Oh, they felt the pressure, didn't they? But Keeden McDonald gets another one. Reverse grid at Spa, race 1 at Mount Panorama. Bishop second, great drive. Dean Allen third, good points. So too for the championship leader coming into the weekend, Kenny CONOMOS. He was 4th. Gasardi in 5th. Healy, Matthews, Allen, Barbera only 11th in that, the Porsche Willoughby car. Stankowski, Tame and Halton. Let's head down to Charlie. She's chatting to the race winner.
I'm here with round 2, race 1 winner, Keeden McDonald, and he is now the championship leader. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How does it feel?
Oh, crazy. I'm enjoying it so much. It was a good race, that. Qualified pretty good. I was actually pretty happy. My lap was pretty good. I bogged down on the start a bit, but once I got up and going, it was really good.
The guys didn't make it easy for you, though, did they? They were Kenny and Paul. It was a hard race.
No, it was pretty difficult. Them guys were firing at times, so it was nice and close. Gave me a bit of pressure, so yeah, pretty lucky, eh?
Well, congratulations and all the best for the next race.
Righto, thank you.
The challenge now for McDonald is, yes, he might have got the race win, but of course he's going to have to start from the back now because it's going to be a reverse grid race here at Mount Panorama. AIDAN HALTON will start from position number 1. Liam Tame alongside him on the front row. There we go. We flip over the page. Keeden McDonald from the back. Simon Bishop will start 13th. Dean Allen, Kenny CONOMOS, the drivers to watch out for. He'll come from position number 11 in what's going to be a possibly chaotic reverse grid race, Richard.
Well, it could be, Brian, from what we saw at Spa in round 1. It was awesome, clean, but really, really competitive and some very, very hard motor racing. So once again, strategy will play a role in this race, and when you pit, we saw the undercut playing a role in round 1 where you get out of that traffic jam, get yourself into pit lane early. So here we are. The Thrustmaster car will start from pole position at Mount Panorama. 9 laps of reverse grid racing is underway. Turn 1. So far, so good. You don't want to call it too early at this place in a jumbled up grid, but they're 3 wide. The midfield there, car off, couple of wheels on the dirt up Mountain Straight. But so far, so good. As they head up to the hill for the first time, the pole sitter's done a very, very nice job in executing his start and getting into turn 1. Tame looks down the inside though. had a dive at Griffin's Bend, and often that can unsettle the car in the lead of the race, but he's okay. He's gathered it up. Adrian HALTON leads the field up to the cutting for the first of 9 times.
You've really got to keep your nose clean in these early stages, don't you? Not get caught up in some of that melee towards the back of the pack. So far, our leaders, well, at least our winners, you would say, from race number 1 are getting through it so far, staying out of trouble as your front contenders are really battling hard in these early stages, and they're already starting to form that train, that line of cars at the moment, and obviously trying to look after maybe that fuel in this race, because trying to find a way past around Mount Panorama is often a difficult challenge.
Big.
So, and into the wall hard.
Big moment at the dipper, and more damage. The Porsche Centre Willoughby car. Guy Barbera firing it off as well. He's got dramas. And now with a big Hail Mary down at the elbow. Oh, that was enormous. What a sequence of events has just occurred there. And Liam Tame in the Care A2 Plus car now finds himself in the lead from Matthew Allen. What a series of events. The race leader is gone. The Fanatec car is in the mix, and they're battling side by side to the kick. They're going to go wheel to wheel through there, and Allen now gets himself in front.
I said a moment ago they've kept it clean. Well, I think hashtag blame Wacker for that one, because that was quite incredible as they went through the dipper. So it's all changed now. So Allen, Stankowski, Tame, Matthews and Barbera now the top 5. Great shots. The drivers working their way through the bottom section of the circuit, through Murray's Corner, now down pit straight as well. But boy, oh boy, that certainly throws the cat amongst the pigeons now as to where they're going to land and how this race is going to play out over the 9-lap journey. We've completed 1, still a long way to go.
I tell you what, from what we've seen so far, this is round 2. There's nothing tame about what Liam Tame is offering up in the reverse grid races. He's been at the front in both of them in the Care A2 Plus car. Sorry, I had to do that. Aidan Matthews, 4th place. Guy Barbera, 5th, but it doesn't really matter because it's a freight train most of the way down the field. Jake Burton has locked onto the back of this, so too Adrian Casati. And Cannonolian there in 8th place is in the mix. Here's Dean Allen. He's 10th. He can see the race leader, for crying out loud. It's so competitive. Everyone's jammed together. Lap 2 of 9. Just go back to that point I was making before. Pit stops are going to be critical. And if you can get yourself into clean air, I wonder, Brian, if you sacrifice a little bit of track position early to get yourself in clean air and go for that undercut.
You got to feel like that would probably be the prime, I guess, strategy to roll in this race, because as you mentioned, trying to get that clean air at the middle part of this race is going to be absolutely vital, particularly on those fresh tyres, the whole point of the undercut. So it'll be interesting to see who does what here at the moment, and we're already starting to edge towards that pit stop window sort of opening as well. We're almost on lap 3, working our way, I should say, towards the half race distance. So Allen, Stankowski, Tame, Matthews, Barbera still the top 5. Burton, again, not too bad in position number 6 there either, just keeping his nose clean so far. But I tell you what, we're going to have a pass here, possibly down here into the chase for what will be the second time.
Tell you what, Adrian Casati in the PlayStation car gave the wall a big whack coming out of the elbow. Sparks were flying. This is the Hi-Tec Oils car. Keenan McDonald under brakes. Shannon's car in front. Dean Allen just in front of that. So this is so far down the field. KEEDEN running in 12th position, our race 1 winner. You can still see the leader tipping into Hell Corner in the Fanatec car. That's how close and competitive it is. And you can see the block party being thrown on the start-finish straight as they put the move on down towards turn 1. So they're defending their position very hard. But you'd have to think now, lap 3, the pit window's open. They might not take it, but it's probably early enough where you could roll the dice and have a gamble to dive into pit lane and get yourself out of this massive battle pack. Jake Burton goes around. Big moment. He gathered it up, but at the cutting, he's thrown away a bunch of positions and drops outside the top 10. We can just pop into his comms now.
It takes 3 seconds and we're losing at least that every lap, I reckon. We're using so much fuel because of the aero.
So that's an interesting point. We're using so much fuel because of the aero. So I wonder if he's referring to the fact these cars are running so much downforce, they're very draggy. So they're not that quick down Conrod straight, they're burning more fuel to get that straight line speed.
Yeah, very good point there, Richard. So maybe just sitting in that toe for some of these leading contenders towards the back is maybe possibly the way that they want to use their fuel and go about it, try and save some of that extra juice at the moment in these cars. So talking none other than the likes of Keegan McDonald, Kenny CONOMOS, Jake Burton, who we just heard from there a moment ago as well. They're towards the back, trying to play this race strategically now is going to be the task that they're going to have to come up with. Look at that freight train. No one's really stepping out yet, just sitting in behind each other, maybe even a little bit of bump drafting as well. So exactly to the point that Burton was making, they are now saving fuel on the main straight, on the at least Conrod straight anyway. McDonald, he doesn't want to save any sort of fuel, looks towards the inside of the kick that puts him for the outside and out. The left-hander almost gets hung out to dry, but holds on to it for the moment.
How's the stuff going on in front though? The PlayStation car had a World Championship moment as one car dives off. Was that Allen? I think it was, diving off into pit lane. So he's rolled the dice, he's gone early, and really he had no other option. Yeah, it is. So he had to go to pit lane. He had to extract himself from that battle pack because it was just burning lap time. So he'll fill the car up, brand new tyres. He'll run long in the second stint of the race, but this is going to be really interesting to see if it can deliver an undercut for the 36-year-old who's been so competitive in the opening couple of races.
I certainly like that strategy. I reckon that might just prove to be a bit of a winner here once it shakes itself out. So we'll have to wait and see though what does happen as we ride on board here again with Dean Allen in the hyperdrive Porsche over the little crest there on Mountain Straight. And they work their way back up towards Griffin's Bend, at least for Allen. In the meantime, back towards the front of this race. So it's Matthew Allen, Jono Stankowski, Guy Barbera, the top three so far. Looking a bit further back, Simon Bishop now up to position number 8. Keegan McDonald keeping an eye on him. Your series leader so far in ninth. Again, these leaders using every bit of the road they can. Got to feel that maybe as well just conserving a little bit for these guys out in front.
Guy Barbera is hanging on to his car, but I was going to say the same for Liam Tame, sliding around as they jump through the dipper. Porsche Centre Willoughby entry holding down third place. The Care A2 Plus car just behind. Then Adrian Gassardi in fifth place in the PlayStation car. And then Ken Nolian in the KO Sports entry running sixth. Connor Healy just in behind. Simon Bishop, the Kiwi for Shannon's. Kenan McDonald for Hi-Tec. And at the back of that freight train, our round one winner, Kenny CONOMOS, who gave up the championship lead after race one here at Mount Panorama. PlayStation car looks down the inside. Gassardi, does he get it done? He tried. At the big moment, there was a little bit of fisticuffs and managed to gobble it up. But are they all going to dive into pit lane? Yes, they are. Look at the freight train heading for service. Oh, and there's some more fisticuffs as they get to the control line. So this will be really, really busy. And now we see if that strategy from Dean Allen, who remember was basically on the back of this pack when he dived into pit lane. We'll see if he can gobble them up with an undercut, see if that strategy's paid off.
Right, the other thing as well, Kenny CONOMOS actually decided to stay out on the racetrack, so he's going to go a lap longer here as well. Is that going to prove costly maybe for him as well? There's a few late decisions going on there as well when they went into the pits, but for Kenny CONOMOS, how is this going to work now? He's out in front, but he's got to do a pit stop. I tell you what, I don't know, Richard, like you said at the start, this might just burn him here. Of course, being stuck out there on old tyres. We'll see how it all pans out in a short moment. Quick break and back with more at Mount Panorama. Final stages of the reverse grid race at Mount Panorama for the Hi-Tec Oils Speedweek Eseries, and at the moment we've got a variation in strategy because Kenny CONOMOS is out in front but on old tyres. He hasn't done his pit stop yet. Matthew Allen, Jono Stankowski going to try and reel him in. It's going to be interesting, Richard Carl, to see where he returns in this field.
Yeah, it is, and we're still waiting to see how that undercut for Dean Allen plays out. He's a little bit further down the field at the moment, but there's a real possibility he's going to get some ground out of all of this. So it's going to be good fun to see. Here's the Shannon's car barreling down the hill into the dipper. And like we've seen all series, just a freight train of Porsche 911 RSRs locked together, squabbling for position. Hi-Tec Oils car looking for a move. That's Keegan McDonald, who's been so superb across the E-Series. The Care A2 Plus car in front. We're on board with Simon Bishop for Shannon's in the toe down Conrod Straight. Does he go by or does he conserve some fuel?
It's almost a case of the Daytona bump drafting at the moment as they go down Conrod Straight. So great shots of the cars going down Conrod, but also, of course, on the right-hand side of your screen, just watching them work the wheel there through the chase. Oh, big moment there for Tammy. Holds on to it only just, but he comes out the other side and drops a bunch of positions. So he was just in front of Bishop, which was position 7. He's dropped all the way now back to position number 11. So an unfortunate moment there for Liam Tame. And yeah, it's cost him a lot of time as well. Now, Kenny CONOMOS has completed his pit stop. He's in the lane at the moment, and he's just returned by the looks in front of Simon Bishop. So that's position number 6 for Kenny. Now, what's going to be interesting here is that he's got a lap fresher tyres compared to those around him. It could well work here, Richard.
Yeah, it's a good strategy play. It's really worked out for him, hasn't it? Just see him pulling out. It was interesting to note that Bishop had the full lift and coast down Conrod Straight, didn't capitalise on that toe, but just lifted out, just biding his time and went for the move under the brakes instead, which was really interesting to see. So that's worked for CONOMOS. Fair to say there's some net gain out of all of that to end up P6 from where he was. Good strategic play for the man that led the championship after the opening round at Spa. I like the way they've done that. We're on board with KEEDEN McDonald, the man that took the lead in the championship after race 1 here at Mount Panorama. So this has been good stuff as they head to Brock Skyline one more time. Couple of laps to go. Let's have a listen. Oh, off the road, the KO car.
Damage.
And yes, he will have damage. Candonolian off the road at high speed. He's got damage. And that is a very, very big blow for someone who's done such an outstanding job in the E-Series so far. Big points loss as well, Brian. And the point structure is favoured to those who run at the front, and those who win, being 14th, is not what you want at all.
No, tough moment indeed as we ride on board here with KEEDEN McDonald. Going down Conrod Straight here at the moment as well. He's got Simon Bishop in front of him. Guy Barbera in position number 5. Kenny CONOMOS, if you don't mind, has gone already up from position 6 to position 4 on this lap alone. So he is charging through this field on fresher tyres. I tell you what, the strategy is working in these early stages. He's going to have 3 laps to go when he gets to the line next time by. Back on board with McDonald here in the Hi-Tec Oils machine through Murray's Court. He uses the curb and then some as he goes through the final turn and down pit straight. Looking at some of the drivers now again as well. On the right-hand side of your screen, back down into Hell Corner. They'll jack that wheel to the left. And of course, all these wheels have got paddle shifts as well. So you just have to obviously flick it up on the right-hand side if you want to go up a gear. All easy said than done. It's all about that focus and that feel through the steering wheel.
So Matthew Allen in the Fanatec cars leading the way in this race. Stankowski in second and looking for a good lot of points. Adrian Gassardi next, but on fresh rubber and flying is Kenny CONOMOS in 4th place. He's leading the freight train here. Bishop, Barbera, McDonald, Allen, Matthews and Tame completing the top 10. So the thing now for CONOMOS is to maximise the fresher rubber he's got in these closing 3 laps of the motor race. Try and drag that margin back. But the last thing he'll need is a challenge from Simon Bishop in the car right behind him, because that will not do him any favours whatsoever in trying to hold this margin to the leaders. Can he get a podium? That would be an enormous result from this motor race, given how far back he was in the opening stanza and running an alternate strategy to everyone else.
And considering that obviously Spa didn't quite go to his favour either in that reverse grid race, he really needs to pick up those points here at the moment as well, considering he lost the championship lead at the end of the previous race as well. Race 1 here at Mount Panorama. So we're watching CONOMOS on screen, working his way down Conrod Straight. The next car he's hit list is going to be Adrian Gassardi. And there's going to be a few places where he can try and get the job done. If he's close enough, maybe Griffin's Bend eventually once he gets there, because he's going to have a little bit more drive from the rear end of that car with the fresh tyres. But the thing about Mount Panorama, as you well know, Richard, it's so hard to get to them, but it's another thing to pass them.
Yeah, you're right. The one thing about CONOMOS, though, a podium, well, it may happen because he is closing in quite quickly on Gassardi there for 3rd, but either way, these reverse grid races, what he's doing is what a champion does, is maximise your points. Score the most in every race. If you can't finish 3rd, make sure you're 4th. If you can't be 4th, be 5th. Those points at the end of a 4-round championship will be absolutely critical. And that's what we're seeing this great young driver do. He's 4th at the moment, maximising what he's got. Use strategy to his advantage, poured himself into the motor race. Let's go back to KEEDEN McDonald. He's got Guy Barbera behind him. The battle for 6th and 7th place, and Dean Allen just in behind. So the alternate strategy, stopping early, didn't work for Dean Allen in this race, really, where it has for CONOMOS. He's got ground, but he stopped a lot later.
Watching Stankowski now going across the top of Mount Panorama. He's not too far away from Alan, just keeping that pressure on, you would say, right now, and making sure he doesn't get too far away in front. Liam Tame in the Care 8-2 Porsche now. He's working his way around the top section of the circuit behind AIDAN Matthews. This is the battle for positions 9 and 10 that we're watching at the moment. Matthews a little bit crossed up there at the moment, the rear end of the car just wanting to escape him, but thankfully held on to it. Of course, tyre life now at this particular point in the race is becoming a little bit more difficult. And look at the amount of road there that Tame was using. He had the left-hand side of the car up over the curb there, modulating the brake pedal, particularly at that point of the racetrack. You've got to have a real finesse as to the way I should say you brake that car down the S section and then ultimately into the dipper.
Yeah, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. It could have been an error, but it looked like he was trying to use the curb to help rotate the car on older tyres and just get it turned in. As they go wheel to wheel through the kink, Kenny CONOMOS on the charge, fresher rubber. That gets him to third place. What an outstanding performance this has been. The strategy has paid off, and the man who won the opening round of the championship is blazing his way to the front of the field. The Tri-Ace Australia car is now third as they start the final lap. 6.213 kilometres to go. Jono Stankowski, the next target. He can see him. He's got him in his sights. Has he got enough tyre condition to hunt Stankowski down in the final lap of this race? Either way, a podium is an outstanding result and a very, very well-played strategic race for our round one winner.
The other thing as well, keeping in mind you get a bonus point for the fastest lap of this race. That's exactly what Kenny CONOMOS has done. He's got that extra bonus point at the moment. He got that as the tyres were nice and fresh. So he's charging back towards our leaders out in front is Kenny CONOMOS. Can he get the job done on Stankowski on this final lap? He's a fair way back at the moment, but he'll certainly have a lunge if he is close enough. In behind though, Gossardi not letting him get too far away at the moment as we continue to watch Simon Bishop as well. He's position number 5. Again, a really good drive from Simon Bishop, just keeping it clean and staying out of trouble.
Yeah, and a really good haul of championship points again. If he can stay P5 at the end of this, he's just been the accumulator. He's been Stephen Richards, scoring in every race and pops up at the end of the year in title contention. Really impressive stuff for the Shannon's driver. Racing from Dunedin in New Zealand, our only international competitor in this year's Hi-Tec Oils Speedweek Eseries. Got to thank, of course, Gran Turismo Sport and PS4 for their support. It's an incredible platform that's allowed us to put on these incredible races over the first 2 rounds, and believe you me, there's plenty more to come as well with some of the tracks we've got in the future. But there's still a race to play out here at Mount Panorama. Can Matthew Allen record a win? He battled in race 1. It was a real struggle. We touched on the fact the reverse grid might favour him because he started towards the front, and he looks like he's in a really good shot, Brian van der Wacker, bringing this one home.
Certainly is. We're looking at him now as he comes through and out of the chase in the Hi-Tec Porsche. He's going to come down into Murray's corner. It's going to be a brilliant drive from start to finish. The battle is on behind him as well for position number 2. But for Allen, he's awesome at Mount Panorama. Gets the reverse grid race win. And I tell you what, I think CONOMOS might even have that job for position number 2 as they come to the line. He does. There's been a penalty involved for Stankowski as well, hence why he had to stop at the line. He's crossed the line in position number 5, so there's been drama there as well for that second spot. CONOMOS takes it away in the end. Another valuable 5 extra championship points in his back pocket for that second spot, Richard.
Yeah, that is an outstanding drive. You got to feel for Stankowski. He did everything he could to hold on to second place, but a little penalty at the end, and he surrendered a couple of spots.
I got disconnected during the race.
Yeah, sorry about that, mate. Boy, friggin'. Oh. Yeah, no, I thought we might friggin' off. I spun myself there, mate. Boy, sorry.
Well, that's the feedback from the boys on the radio chat after a wild one. Matthew Allen, congratulations, grabs his first win. Kenny CONOMOS, what a drive from the back to the front, second place, and Gossardi on the podium. That's a terrific drive. Bishop 4th again. Stankowski 5th. They'll be frustrated with that. Liam Tame also got a penalty. He was 9th. Connor Healy next. Candelonian finished the field. Let's head down to Charlie. She's chatting to the race winner.
And I am here with the race 2 at Mount Panorama winner, Matthew Allen. Congratulations.
Thank you, Charlie.
And it's your first win of the series. Are you happy with that performance?
Yeah, extremely happy, actually. I think it's fair to say I probably wasn't the fastest person on track there, but track position is everything at Bathurst, and I was able to get the lead and stay there.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And I am here with KEEDEN McDonald. KEEDEN, congratulations again.
Thank you.
And there is only, I didn't tell you this before, 1 point separating you and Kenny.
Oh, God, I thought Kenny would have had me then.
So how was that race for you? Because it looked like a tough one.
Yeah, well, like Matt said, position's key here, and coming from the back wasn't really easy, and it was hard to try to not tangle up with anyone else. Simon and Kenny did really good overtaking people, and I just wasn't able to make the moves like they did, so it was a bit more of a struggle for me, but I was really surprised because Kenny went up a lot of positions, which had me surprised, considering it's really hard to.
Well, what a championship battle we've got going on. As Charlie said, just a point between Kenny CONOMOS, who regains the championship lead, and KEEDEN McDonald, who's second. Simon Bishop, Mr. Consistency, he's third. And Dean Allen, who's been fast in every race, is fourth. There's some drivers to watch, though, just outside the top 10. Watch for them charging their way forward as this championship continues on. Gee, it's been great fun. Amazing racing at Mount Panorama, but it's only going to get better because next time out in round 3 of the championship, we're heading to California and Laguna Seca. This has been round 2 of the Hi-Tec Oils Speedweek Eseries powered by Gran Turismo Sport and PS4. Can't wait to get to Cali and the mighty Corkscrew. See you there.
Well, Mount Panorama did not disappoint, did it? The competition is fierce and the racing just keeps getting better. And there's only 1 point separating Kenny CONOMOS and KEEDEN McDonald. It is all here to play for as we head to round 3 at Laguna Seca. We'll see you there.